my brother used to draw in class all the time. He would get bad grades, and he would use it as he would like tell my parents like, I have ADD. I don't know what you're talking about. And my dad would say ADD, my ASS, and then, like he thought he was so fucking funny. He thought he was so fucking funny. That's hard. He would say it every time, and he would probably still say it today. But the reality is, my brother just wanted to fucking draw. That's what he likes. That's what he likes to do. He didn't give a shit about school because most people don't give a shit about school. The fact, the thought that everybody in the world is gonna need to know all the same things throughout their life is such a fucking stupid notion. Yeah, I was thinking about that earlier today. I was reading an article that was about like. Because I've been playing music recently. It was an article about like how to learn songs really fast or some shit like that. And the way it was written was so like middle school book report. Like, okay, so here's how you learn songs fast. And the importance of learning songs really fast is that you will know songs. You'll get to know songs. And like the importance of knowing songs is that you get to play the songs. And I'm just like,
it sounds like a recipe.
And it was like
someone wrote a recipe.
I was reading it and I was just realizing like, everybody should know how to read. Some people just don't bother learning to write. Right. Don't worry about it. We can
just be verbal.
Yeah, you can just talk. You're good. Like, don't worry about it, man. Like, not everybody needs to know this. Not everybody needs to know math. Just fucking know the shit that applies to your life directly.
Democratic schools.
Yes.
Imagine if your brother had grew up in a democratic school
where he could just tell somebody this is what I want to know.
Yes, and he would have a whole skill set, a whole trade, master illustrator. I'm sure he's great now, but it's like, imagine if he had all of those hours in his developmental years.
Right, and support is the big thing. It's like, because you can practice a skill all you want, but if you don't have the emotional support around it, you're always going to doubt yourself. And that's a big problem with him that I keep telling him is he's like constantly in his head about like, yeah, I don't know this. I don't know how to do this. I don't know how to do this. And like, it's great that he has that curiosity, but it's also a barrier in the sense that like he, and I have this to a degree too, is like you let the fact that you don't know something stop you from like just doing it. Mm-hmm. And you're always in this process of explicit like learning and like trying to do it right as opposed to trying to enjoy it. You know what I'm saying?
I always think like if they would have just like been like, this guy should just only focus on writing and level design, then he would be
right. This is also
I would probably have been a game developer.
Yeah.
I'm saying I wanted to pull this up so people are aware. When I say democratic schools, I'm talking about an actual educational institution that exists in the world.
This is also the brightest this podcast has ever been. Somebody in the comments is going to be like, it should always be like this.
But yeah, democratic education. Democratic education is a type of formal education that is organized democratically so that students can manage their own learning and participate in the governance of their school. Democratic education is often specifically emancipatory, with the students' voices being equal to the teachers.
That was not what I went through. I was told I literally one time I went a teacher. Quick story. A teacher, I was sitting next to a friend of mine. It was like 9th grade history class. My teacher, a friend of mine farted, and my teacher literally just goes, "Connor, get out." Because he thought it was me. And I was like furious because it wasn't me.
Over a fart.
Laughed at it. Yeah, well, of course, because teachers are also, that's a whole nother conversation.
Natural body thing, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, they're like on the verge of insanity at all times, teachers, because their lives are insane anyway. So I sympathize with them. But he was like, go to the office. I went to the office. I went to the school principal or whatever, disciplinarian's office. And I sat down, I talked to them, explained I did nothing wrong, blah, blah, blah. And then he's like, all right, I'm going to go up and get the first name of that teacher. Like he called him by his first name. Went, grabbed him. He's like, all right, come to my office. And I was like, dude, this is fire. Like the teacher's in trouble because he fucked up. Goes in the office, 2.5 minutes go by. Teacher walks out, walks by me. He goes, come in here. Gives me a Saturday, which is a detention where you come in on Saturday and do manual labor. And he's like, yeah, you're just being disruptive. He's like, how am I going to take your word over his? It's like I'm talking to a third grader. He literally said that. I was 15. He was like, it's like talking to a child, like a third grader. How is your word any, I'm not taking what you say seriously, blah, blah, blah. And I was just like, He's like, are you cool? Are we cool? And I'm like, no, that's stupid.
Right.
I'm the boss. Real quick. These are all the Democratic schools in the U.S. and notice how small this list is.
Yeah.
It's not even one in every state.
And this is a quote unquote democratic country. This is people are talking about protecting our democracy.
God damn
But
it!
you see in New York State, we got 3.
What?
Brooklyn Free School, Brooklyn.
Ithaca and Albany.
Albany Free School, and then Lehman Alternative.
Arthur
Community
Morgan School. They got a school for Red Dead Redemption 2? Isn't that his name?
I don't know. I don't like the Red Dead Redemption games.
L. ZL. Spam the comments. ZL.
I know.
With the timestamp. ZL.
Yeah.